Most people assume that when they're on the right path, whether it's setting boundaries or pursuing their goals or developing better habits, that the process should feel good. They believe that when they finally found the right routine or make the right choices or do the things they've been putting off, that they will feel that sense of ease and alignment. But this is like one of the biggest misconceptions about growth. The truth is that growth doesn't feel good in the moment. In fact, it often feels extremely uncomfortable, unnatural, and even painful. The biggest mistake people make is waiting to feel good before they take action. They assume that motivation or a surge of confidence will come first and then they'll be able to act. But in reality, it actually works the other way around, and I don't want you to make this mistake. What you need to understand is that the action has to come first. The discomfort is something that you have to push through, and only after that does the good feeling follow. If you wait until you feel ready, until you feel energized, until it no longer feels scary or uncomfortable, you'll be waiting forever. In today's video, I really want to break down why growth feels so uncomfortable, why your brain fights back every single time that you try to change, and how you can actually push through the resistance so that you can finally take the actions that you know will move you forward. If you have ever struggled to follow through on something because it felt difficult or too guilt-inducing or just too uncomfortable, then this video is for you. The reality of growth is that it's going to be uncomfortable, and that's okay. There's a reason that that change feels uncomfortable, and it's not because you're doing something wrong. When you step outside of your comfort zone, whether it's starting a new habit, changing a pattern, or setting a boundary, your brain literally interprets that as a threat because your brain is wired for predictability and safety. And anything that disrupts this usual pattern sends a signal to your brain that something is off, even if the old habit or behavior is unhealthy, even if the current pattern is no longer serving you, your brain will still prefer that because it feels familiar. This is why so many people resist change. It's not because they lack discipline or motivation, it's because their brain is designed to keep them where they are. Anytime you do something that challenges the status quo of your life, your brain will fight back. It will create guilt. It will create self-doubt. It will make you literally second guess your decision and try to pull you back into the old comfortable ways of being. But if you choose to be brave and courageous and to push through that discomfort, if you ignore the guilt, if you take action despite the fear, that will eventually become your new comfort zone. I honestly see this playing out all the time with my clients, so let me share a couple of stories that illustrate this perfectly. One of my clients is a social worker in schools, and for years she struggled with people pleasing. She's like the kind of person who gives to others endlessly, often at the expense of her own needs. Maybe you can relate to that. And recently she decided that she wanted to change this. She realized that she'd been sacrificing her well-being and she was just constantly running on empty. So she made the decision to set boundaries around her lunch break. So her plan was simple. She would eat her lunch alone. She would practice some nervous system regulation activities, and she would take a short walk to recharge herself before heading back to work and heading into sessions with students. But when she started implementing this, she ran into a few problems. What she found is that her colleagues would constantly come by and interrupt her. They would stop by to chat with her, or they would ask her for favors. And she was even considering putting up a sign at lunchtime that said, "Do not disturb," but like the thought of that just gave her this overwhelming, nauseating sense of guilt. And she even told me in our sessions that I feel so bad. I feel selfish. Like, what if they think I don't want to be around them? What if they feel like I'm rejecting them? And that's when I really had to take a step back and have that conversation with her and tell her the truth of the fact that she will feel guilty and that is normal. And I had to remind her that this feeling guilty doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It simply means that you're breaking through an old pattern. So guilt doesn't mean that you're making a wrong choice. It means that you're choosing yourself in a way that you never have before. And anytime you do that, what's going to happen? Your brain is going to resist it. It will make you feel like you're betraying others when really you are just prioritizing yourself for the first time. And here's the thing, if you push through it, if you take that action anyways, the guilt ends up fading. And over time, that ends up being the new normal. Another one of my patients, she's a university student who struggles with low mood. And one of the things that really helps her the most is going to the gym. She knows that when she works out, she feels way better afterwards. And she's seen the proof in her own life. So what's the problem? The problem is that she never actually goes. She waits to feel like going. She waits for that spark of motivation, and she waits to suddenly want to do it. And when that feeling never comes, because it literally doesn't, she just skips the gym altogether. When I talked to her about this, I told her something that completely changed the way that she saw her own struggle. I told her that you are waiting to feel good before you take action. But the truth is that the feeling good will only come once you actually take that action. This is one of the biggest mindset shifts that separate people who follow through from those who stay stuck. If you wait until it feels good, you will never do it. You will always find an excuse. You will always find a reason to put it off and stay in your comfort zone. But when you do it anyways, even when it feels hard, even when your brain tells you not to, even when you're exhausted and unmotivated, then and only then will you truly start to experience the reward. So I'll give you an example from my life. I wake up at 5 a.m. some mornings, and do I want to? No, never. I would love to sleep until like 11 a.m. And every single morning, my first thought is literally, I could sleep for another 3 hours. Like, I could literally sleep for 11 hours if I let myself. But I get up. I get up not because I feel like it, not because I'm bursting with energy, but because I know that once I do it, I will feel so much better. And here's the most important part. It's not just about taking the action. It's truly about staying in integrity with myself. The reason it feels so good afterwards is because I did what I said I was going to do. And the biggest killer of self-confidence is breaking promises that you make to yourself. So every time you say you're going to do something and then you don't follow through with it, you reinforce the belief that you cannot trust yourself. But every time you choose to push through the discomfort, every time you take that action, even when you don't feel like it, and every time you do what you said you would do, you strengthen that trust, and that is how you build unshakable self-discipline. So what's literally one of the most important things you can do for yourself? That is to maintain integrity, not just with others, but also with yourself. That is the most important thing. Integrity means to follow through on your commitments, especially when no one is watching. It means doing what you said you were going to do, even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or hard. Every time you choose to push through discomfort and take action, even when you don't feel like it, you reinforce the belief that you can trust yourself. And the trust in yourself is the foundation of confidence. On the flip side, every time you break a promise to yourself, whether it's skipping the gym when you said you'd go, avoiding a tough conversation, or hitting snooze when you swore that you would wake up early, you chip away at your self-belief. You start to doubt yourself. You lose faith in your own ability to actually follow through. And that's why doing the thing anyways is so powerful. It's not just about the action itself. It's about proving to yourself that you are someone who follows through. You are someone who can be relied on, someone who is in alignment with their actions and their values. And when you live with integrity, your confidence grows, your self-respect strengthens, and over time it becomes easier to show up for yourself because you've built a track record of doing it before. Integrity isn't just about discipline, it's about becoming the type of person who trusts their own words and takes action regardless of how they feel in the moment. That is one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself. I wish I could tell you that there is a secret trick to make taking action feel easy. I wish I could give you a shortcut, a hack, a magic pill or supplement that would eliminate the discomfort, but the truth is that no such thing exists. There's no way around it. You will feel uncomfortable. You will want to quit. Your brain will fight back, and the only way to break through that is to do it anyways. The people who succeed, the people who grow, the people who break free from old patterns and build the life that they want are not the ones who feel the best. They're the ones who take action despite how they feel. Oh my God, this is like firing me up. This message is just as much for me as it is for you. So the next time you find yourself waiting to feel ready, waiting for motivation, waiting for it to feel good, I want you to remember this. It's not supposed to feel good. Do it anyways. And in the end, you will feel better because you did it. If this resonated with you and you're ready to take control of your growth, I welcome you to book a complimentary 30-minute breakthrough session with me. Together, we'll uncover what is holding you back and create a plan to push through the resistance. The link is in the description, and I can't wait to help you move forward.